In a quiet village, nestled between rolling fields and sparkling rivers, there lived a boy named Armand. He was sharp, curious, and quick to learn, yet he carried a burden that no one could see. His greatest enemy wasn't outside, it lived inside him, his restless mind. Whenever he tried to study, his focus slipped away. The sound of laughter outside would tempt him. A message on his phone would pull his attention, or he would find himself daydreaming about the future instead of working in the present. Teachers said he had potential. His parents believed he could achieve great things. But Armand himself? He felt trapped in a cycle of starting strong, losing focus, giving up, and then blaming himself. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the wheat fields, painting the sky with shades of orange and red, Armand sat with his books spread open before him. But his eyes weren't on the page. They were on his phone. His father entered quietly, watching the boy switch from one thing to another without finishing a single task. With a deep sigh, his father said, "Armand, your mind is like a wild horse. If you let it run free, it will drag you into failure. But if you control it, discipline it, that same horse can take you anywhere you dream of going." Armand half listened. He had heard his father say this many times before. Deep down, he thought, maybe this is who I am. Maybe I'm not built for discipline. But fate was preparing to teach him otherwise. In the same village lived an old, respected teacher, Master Raghav. He was known far and wide for training restless children and turning them into focused, determined individuals. Parents often said that he had the ability to straighten not just backs, but also minds. One morning, Armand's father took him to meet the old teacher. They walked along a dusty path, past children flying kites and farmers working in the fields, until they reached a simple house shaded by a massive peepal tree. Birds chirped above, and a cool breeze passed through the leaves. Master Raghav welcomed them warmly, his eyes kind yet piercing. When Armand's father explained his son's problem, the teacher didn't lecture, didn't scold. Instead, he picked up a glass filled to the brim with water and handed it to Armand. He said, "Walk around my garden with this glass. Don't spill a single drop." Armand almost laughed. "That's all? Easy." But as he walked, he got distracted by chirping birds, laughing children, rustling leaves. Each time, water spilled. By the time he returned, half the glass was empty. Master Raghav asked softly, "Why did you spill so much?" Armand mumbled, "I got distracted." The teacher nodded. "This glass is like your goal. The water is your focus. The distractions around you are like the world. If you cannot discipline your mind to hold on to your purpose, you will always lose more than you realize." The words struck Armand deep inside. For the first time, he saw his weakness clearly, not as something permanent, but as something he could change. From that day, Armand began training himself under Master Raghav's guidance. At first, it was difficult, almost unbearable. He had to wake up at the same time every day, even when he felt tired. He had to put away his phone during study hours, even when his friends were messaging him to join games. He had to meditate, sitting still with closed eyes, focusing only on his breathing for a few minutes each morning. The first few days were torture. His mind screamed for distractions. Sometimes he cheated, sneaking glances at his phone, daydreaming during study, or rushing through tasks just to be done with them. But each time, Master Raghav reminded him, focus is not built in a day. Every time your mind runs away and you bring it back, you are strengthening it, just like a muscle. Slowly, Armand began to feel the difference. Life, however, did not make it easy. His friends often teased him, "Armin, why are you wasting time with boring books? Come play with us. Why meditate like an old man? Life is for fun." Some days, Armand felt tempted. Some days he gave in. But when he returned to Master Raghav, the teacher would only smile and say, "Every stumble is a chance to rise stronger. Don't quit." At school, his teachers noticed small changes. His handwriting improved. His answers were more thoughtful, his memory sharper. But it wasn't just academics. Armand's mother saw that he was calmer at home, more patient, less quick to anger. Still, the journey wasn't smooth. There were days when he felt he was making no progress, days when his mind was louder than ever, days when giving up seemed easier. But each time he remembered the glass of water. If I spill my focus, I spill my future. Months passed, and a great announcement shook the village. A national knowledge competition was to be held. Students from across the country would gather to solve complex problems within strict time limits. Armin's teachers encouraged him to participate. At first, fear gripped him. What if I lose focus in the middle? What if I fail in front of everyone? But then he remembered how far he had come. He remembered the early mornings, the meditation, the countless hours of focus, the small victories. He whispered to himself, "This is my chance to test the strength of my mind." The grand hall was packed with students. Nervous whispers filled the air. Judges sat with stopwatches in hand. Armand sat at his desk, his palms slightly sweaty. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, just as Master Raghav had taught him. This is just like carrying the glass of water. Don't spill your focus, one step at a time. The bell rang. Papers were distributed. Around him, chaos began. Some students scribbled furiously, some froze, some panicked and gave up. The noise of pens scratching, papers rustling, chairs creaking, it was overwhelming. But Armand stayed calm. He tackled one question at a time, blocking out everything else. His heart raced, but his mind was steady. When distractions came, he pulled his focus back again and again. Hours passed, but Armand didn't notice. He was in the flow, deeply present. Finally, the bell rang. Pens were put down. The competition was over. When results were announced, the hall went silent. Then came the words that changed everything. First place goes to Armand from Greenfield Village. The crowd erupted in cheers. Armand's father's eyes filled with tears. Master Raghav, standing quietly at the back, smiled, a smile that carried both pride and peace. Armand had not just won a competition, he had conquered his greatest enemy, his restless mind. From that day, he was no longer known as the distracted boy. He became an inspiration, remembered as the boy who disciplined his mind. Armand carried one powerful lesson with him forever. Discipline is not a cage. It is freedom. It is the bridge between dreams and reality. A disciplined mind is stronger than talent, luck, or even intelligence. And so he began sharing his journey with others. Whenever a friend complained of distractions, whenever a younger student said, "I can't focus," Armand would smile and say, "Focus is like carrying a glass of water. Don't spill it. Protect it every day. That is the secret to success." If Armand's story touched even a small spark in your heart, don't let it fade. Take one step today. Wake up on time, finish one task with full focus, or cut one distraction. Your next chapter of success begins not tomorrow, not next week, but the moment you decide to discipline your mind. Start today.